Here at Two Taverns, we're asking a group of authors to put their mouth where their keyboard is. Each author will play their favorite character, a character they created in a deadly dungeon setting unlike anything you've ever seen before. So let's get to it.
My name is Jonathan Brazee. I primarily write military science fiction. My first real successful series was actually military fiction. That was Return of the Marines. But then I went to my love, which was science fiction, and I wrote the United Federation Marine Corps, and that was my big breakout series. What got me started in the writing? Well, I've always been a reader, and a whale reader. I read everything I could get. I used to camp out at Walden Books. And so I actually wrote my first short story while I was at the Naval Academy, and amazingly enough, it was accepted and published in a magazine. I thought that was pretty easy. I wrote another story, didn't get accepted, and then I got commissioned into the Marine Corps, and I turned into writing nonfiction, some military, political science. My dissertation for my doctorate was on the tuna industry, and that got published. But I never really thought I had the chops to write fiction. And so when I was a colonel, I was the military advisor to USAID in Iraq. And I decided, I couldn't really do a lot there in my little free time. I mean, if you go out and run, you get shot or whatever. So I decided I was going to write a novel just as a bucket list type thing. Never thought anybody would read it. Just wanted copies to give to my family. But lo and behold, it was an overnight success 5 years later. And that really started. Oh, and then people read that. And they asked, well, what happened? What's next? What's going on? And so write two more. And before you know it, I was writing a lot more. It took a lot of thinking. As you said, I've got 90 novels. I've got a lot of characters. A couple of my characters seem to be favorites, but I was trying to think of how can they really help humanity? I mean, I was really tempted to go with my disabled retired Marine because here I am, but I decided I have to go with someone that fits. So I have selected Aiden Kaz, who is a Marine private who was bitten by an Iraqi werewolf in 2006. Aiden may not have been the most professional Marine. If I could use the term, he is what we call a shitbird, but the transformation was more than just physical. And so I thought Aiden would offer the aliens the best opportunity to become a true fighter for humanity.
Your hero encounters a Tarazar standing between him and his objective. What does he do? A. Attack it head on. B. Try to sneak past. C. Try to trap or poison the beast. D. Lure it away. E. Throw a fireball up its,
Well, first he'd probably ask what the heck a Tarazar is. But then, since he doesn't have fire, if he's in his warrior mode, his werewolf mode, he's going to attack it. Aiden is not some magical spell werewolf. He is a biological creature who's been basically infected with the werewolf virus. So it's still Aiden's brain. The difference is, obviously, he has some more superior physical characteristics. So he just has more confidence. This whole thing, when he was initially a werewolf and didn't know what was going on, he wasn't quite used to it. But as he gets into it more and more, he begins to know what his abilities are. The biggest difference is he doesn't have quite the same social restraints. He tends to lose it a little bit more. He'll get angrier easier. Actually, I think I had him liking a specific ice cream in the book. I'm going to say banana. And yes, in both, werewolves have to eat an awful lot because they use so much energy in the transformation. So yes, he's going to eat ice cream. Highly caloric, a lot of fat. Aiden wanted to impress a girl who, when Aiden was in high school, he was invited to the prom by a girl that he thought was way out of his league. And it turns out he was, and it was a practical joke. So he joined the Marine Corps to try to get back at her, not realizing that being a Marine meant a lot more than just signing on the dotted line. And he absolutely 100% hated it. And he was doing anything that he could manage to get out of it. Like I said, he was a shitbird. But after being bit, he slowly makes a transformation as he realizes there's more to life than just a girl back in Las Vegas, Nevada, who played a practical joke on him for senior prom. So his motivation went from very personal, leading to the revenge, which isn't really a very good look, stupidly leading to revenge. But then he actually begins to understand that there's something bigger, both in the Marine Corps and as a werewolf and as a member of humanity.
Your hero is trapped on the water planet Novella. It's a nasty planet dominated by water and filled with squid-like creatures that humans might mistake for mini krakens. What does your character do?
To find shelter and safety if the Kraken are attacking, what I believe Aiden's going to do is, Aiden is pretty strong in werewolf mode. So I think he's going to grab a Kraken, bite open his belly, and then crawl inside, and then try to exist among the other Kraken as just another one.
So like a wolf in Kraken's clothing?
Yeah, a wolf in Kraken's clothing. My favorite in-book thing that happens to Aiden actually happens in conjunction with his girlfriend/fiancée, Claire. Claire is actually one of his high school classmates that he hooks up with after he comes back, and who never even knew he existed. But when he shows up, he's got this werewolf magnetism, and she's kind of interested in him, and he's really surprised that he can actually attract women. And so Claire becomes his girlfriend, fiance, and Claire knows Aiden's secret, and she desperately wants to become infected and become a werewolf too. However, it's very, very dangerous, and most humans who are bit by a werewolf do not survive the first transformation. Aiden almost didn't. Then he just came through by the skin of his teeth. So he refuses to do it. He will not bite her, no matter what she does. So basically, she seduces him, and in the throes of passion, she gets him to bite her. He was defeated in his attempt to keep her safe by lust. And I really like that. Well, Aiden's a Marine, so he carries an M4, but he'll use anything that's at hand. He does. There is a werewolf assassin who is also a werewolf who's been tasked by the Werewolf Council to hunt him down and kill him. And he manages to kill him with a small ornamental Oaxaca silver knife that Claire gives him when they're walking along the Riverwalk in San Antonio. So he did use a small Oaxaca. A Oaxacan knife is a elaborate kind of knife with etchings on the blade from Oaxaca, Mexico, and they're typically made of silver, and that's what he uses to fight off this werewolf assassin. Aiden's strength is his strength and ability to heal. So I would probably go with strength, but then he also has to be flexible. He's facing other werewolves at times. He's facing the enemy. At one point, he finds a rogue tribe of werewolves. He has to know how to deal with them. So I would put flexibility right on up there. How you doing? I remember that one. Street smarts, vital, pain. The last is idiots won't be tolerated, because Aiden, in the process, Aiden has been an idiot. And sometimes the gods smile on idiots, as they did on him.
You and your companions are stuck in a Volian lab. In exploring this laboratory, you find a flamethrower that you're reasonably sure has been used for creme brulee, a cheese grater, a frying pan, a frozen straw with a pointy end, and several other items commonly found in a Volian lab or kitchen. Given these options, what is your character's weapon of choice?
Quite frankly, he'd use a cast iron pan. Cast iron pan is a great weapon. It does a lot of damage. It can block things. So he's going to go with a cast iron pan. But boy, it would sure be cool to use a Vitamix. He is loyal, he's dedicated, and he really has a good heart. He may not have started out with a good heart, but transformations aren't just physical. He truly cares about other people and will do anything to protect them. Aiden will say what he thinks, even if it's probably not politic to do so. Aiden has had death matches, so he's experienced, and he's sneaky. He doesn't always do in a death match what you might expect him to do, and I think that could be a big advantage. Big Mac, no cheese, extra sauce, large fry, Diet Dr. Pepper.